SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening. What's going on, everybody? RWT family, SMR Podcast listeners. Back with a brand new edition of SMR News. I know it's getting a little crazy these days, this SMR News, because we got a whole hell of a lot to talk about. In weeks past, normally not as much to talk about, but this week, a whole shit ton. And I am, of course, joined by the only man willing enough to do all the digging in those dirt sheets, and that's the man that doesn't mind getting dirty. The one, the only, the Undertaker of the RWT group, Paul Morales. What's up, Paul? Happy Sunday to you, bro. Happy 420 Eve.
For
all you stoners out there.
My fool. Hell yeah. What is up, everybody? I am here. I am with Mr. Moses Marquez, and of course, we are going to give you all of this news. And there was a whole lot of shitload of news.
Some good, some bad, one kind of hurtful. And I think we're just going to start with that one, the most impactful. I'm not going to say impactful, but you know what? This guy was the voice announcer for fucking so many different generations of wrestling fans. It's not even funny. And that's the unfortunate passing of Howard Finkel. The Fink, if you will. The last time I remember hearing Fink, like, actually introduced, I want to say was when he introduced CM Punk at WrestleMania. I think that was WrestleMania. I think.
Yeah, I believe that was WrestleMania. That was the last time I think he was there. I think he actually did a few more after that, but I think it was just far few and in between because he had his health began to fail. So
yeah. Well, I mean, compared to how he was, you know, he did get a little bigger. He did, unfortunately, he passed at the ripe age of 69 years old. He did die of a health condition. There was no real, cause of death, but he did have a health condition that was worsening over the years. Finkel was WWE's first employee after being hired by Vince McMahon Sr. in 1975 for then the WWF. And he was actually the house show announcer for Madison Square Garden and became the he was the the lead ring announcer until 2000, where Lillian Garcia and Tony Chimmel had eventually taken over for both brands. But he did come in, like I said, every now and again for an appearance. He was inducted in the WWE Hall of Fame in 2009 and was then inducted into the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame back in 2018.
Here's what's interesting about I actually have one funny story about my only encounter with him. I did actually meet him. I want to say it was 96. Might have been 95, 96. Anyways, he was actually at the Anaheim Convention Center, and he was doing these little meet and greets with people, and it was a bunch of different wrestlers that were there. Mm-hmm. I walked up to him and I asked him, I go, Howard Finkel, and he goes, yes. He goes, hi, how are you? And his voice, oh my God, that voice.
Oh yes, Howard.
And but here was my one interaction with him. He was so humble, and I asked him, I go, the one question I wanted to ask him, I had told him that I was at that specific arena. I was at the Anaheim Convention Center for WrestleMania to watch WrestleMania 1 on closed circuit television. And I was pointing around and I was showing him where the TVs were at and where I was sitting. And we had a good laugh about that. And I said, how was your experience? I said, with WrestleMania 1. He said, I can tell you this much. He said, I was calm, but I was very nervous. He goes, and I kid you not, I was so nervous all the way up to the first opening bell. He goes, I walked to the ring. He goes, I was about to step in. He goes, my stomach was still a little, with nerves and butterflies. He goes, I was about ready to get into the ring. He goes, and I felt like I almost had to fart. And he goes, and I stopped myself. He goes, and then I stood up. He goes, and then I got into the ring. He goes, that nervousness went away. Okay, this opening contest is scheduled for one fall. with a 15-minute time limit. And then he said we started laughing about it, and I said, really? I go, you had a fart? He goes, yes. He goes, it was the weirdest thing. He goes, I've never had that moment. He goes, maybe the first time I ever had a job. He goes, I might have had that moment. He goes, but that was like, you were there. You were on that big stage, you know. I mean, it's Madison Square Garden. And another guy had asked him that was standing next to me. He goes, but wait, you worked at Madison Square Garden for years. He goes, yes, but at Madison Square Garden, he goes, most events aren't televised. He goes, this one was not only in Madison Square Garden, but then you had a television audience around the world. He goes, it's different when you do videotapings, because you can come in, you know, be your normal self. He goes, but now that you're on live TV, and, you know, not only are you worried about the people that are in the arena, you're also worried about how you're going to react, how people around the world are going to see you. All eyes are focused on you. So you want to make a good impression. He goes, that nervousness actually just kind of tumbled into my belly, and then we started laughing. We had a good laugh. But that was my only interaction with Howard Finkel, and it was probably my most memorable.
Well, I mean, at least you got one with him, you know what I mean? That's not something everybody can say. They got an interaction with the Fink. So
yes.
But unfortunately, like, that's how we're going to start this. It is sad, but I think the unfortunate reality is we need to get a little bit sadder. And we got to talk about all these unfortunate releases. I had a rant the other day. It's up on Facebook. I was praised by a bunch of people for this rant. You're probably going to get a similar one here. But before I get into that, or before I get into my rant, you have the list of everybody that's since been released?
Yes, I do.
Some names are a little shocking to me. Like Zack Ryder's a guy I didn't ever think would go away.
There are several names on this list. Of the names that are on this list, I want to say maybe a few of them I would have said, okay, I understand.
Yeah.
But then there are those people that are like, you're scratching your head, you're wondering why, and you're like, and it's like, why would you go that route? Why would you make a right turn when you could have made a left turn and got to your point just as easily? But we don't really know. Well, now we do, how much WWE had saved, how much Vince McMahon had saved, which was, I believe it's like $4.5 million.
Yeah, just shy of $4.5 million.
Yeah. So anyway, several employees have been released, and we have confirmed some, but others may have not been announced by WWE. Many employees were furloughed. Let's keep that in mind, that many of the names that I'm going to list have been furloughed, and most of those were actually backstage names.
I'm about to say, before you get into that, can you explain what furloughed means?
To
those who don't know.
Okay, that means it means that they still get their benefits, but they're not being paid. But they have the option to come back to the company. So it's not necessarily giving them outright released. I mean, some of these people may actually be getting paid still, but not getting paid what they were when they were there. So
I was told a lot of these guys are getting some sort of stimulus package for about a year.
Here, I can tell you a lot of the NXT stars actually got a 90-day severance package.
Something.
So
consider the fact that most of these dudes were like PC dudes.
Yeah, and a lot of them were PC dudes. So let me give you the names of the main roster ones that have been released. The first one, he gave such a heartbreaking video on Twitter.
Don't get me started.
Drake Maverick. I cried.
feel for this dude. Like, I legitimately feel for this dude.
Okay, now here's one thing. I feel for him so bad. He was just recently announced for the cruiserweight tournament.
Exactly.
For the interim cruiserweight tournament, and he's still going to go through with it.
Right.
He is still going to continue on in the cruiserweight tournament and still be paid for that. So,
now, granted, I don't know many people that are going to be like, "Yo, I got fired. I'm still going to go to work."
I know, but I don't think he's doing it for the people. I don't think he's doing it for them, but he's doing it for the people and himself.
Yeah, more mainly himself, in my opinion.
Yeah, mainly himself. So I'm going to continue on with these names. Some of them may be shocking. Some of them everybody already knows. Kurt Hawkins, the OCs, Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows, which was, to me, was like shocking.
Considering they had just signed new big deals?
Considering that they had just signed a 5-year deal just last year. Yep. About this time last year, they had signed a 5-year deal. Heath Slater, we know he got kids. I don't know why you letting him go. Eric Young, yes.
I'm not going to lie. I kind of want to buy that I got fired shirt.
Oh, yeah, I know. I want to buy it, too.
Go support him at Pro Wrestling Tees.
Yeah, Pro Wrestling Tees. And by the way, a lot of these guys actually started putting up stuff on Pro Wrestling Tees. Speaking of the good brothers, who Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows, no longer Luke Gallows. I believe he was Doc Gallows over there in Japan. In New Japan, wasn't it? New Japan,
he was. Yeah. He was Doc Gallows, and that's already where they're teasing they're going back. Not even like full 24 hours after the release, they're just like, "Oh, look at this fucking video, bro."
Yeah, Carl Anderson posted the video, and it had him going from Santa Monica to Tokyo to, I guess, whatever arena, I guess, that New Japan is going to be at. So, yeah, Heath Slater, Eric Young. Eric Young is not so much surprising. He had taken a backstage role and was going to transition into being a backstage personnel, and he might have actually went into coaching at the Performance Center. EC3, not so much of a surprise. He hasn't really. They did nothing with TV.
Him, and I don't know why. Is it really because he was a star in like TNA? Because look at AJ. Well, don't act like that guy wouldn't have been like one of the better dudes on the mic.
I don't know.
Okay?
I don't know, and I think pulling him away from NXT was probably the worst decision that Vince made, pulling him out of there. So, Leo Rush, another person that had such a hard, he actually had a live IG story, and he got pretty emotional also. Eric Rowan, we had heard from. Sarah Logan, which is weird because Sarah is actually married to one of the what the hell they are, the Viking Raiders.
Thank you, the Viking Raiders. She is. It's Eric and Avar, Eric and Ivar or whatever.
Yeah,
she's married to Eric.
Yeah. So she's married. The one I could tell you, the one that was really shocking to me was referee Mike Shinoda.
Mike Chioda.
Mike Chioda.
Considering the fact that Mike Chioda had been with the company for like 30
wrong
years.
Person, sorry. I'm thinking Lincoln Park.
There you go.
Mike Chioda.
About 30 years with the company.
Mike Chioda has been there for a really long time. Primo and Epico, I don't even know.
I legitimately don't remember seeing them on TV for a year.
I think the last time we saw them, I think they were at that Rumble match in Saudi Arabia, and I was like, they're still with the company?
That's probably the only way we would have seen them, so yeah.
Zack Ryder, No Way Jose, oh my God, who also had another video on Twitter. Oh my God.
I've been saying this forever. No Way Jose could have been the best opening match wrestler You get the crowd excited with the dancing and the yeah. You give him 10 minutes every fucking time. Win or lose, he goes out there, he looks good, and that's it. I mean, you don't have to beat the shit out of him. He doesn't have to lose every fucking week. You know, he can win every now and again. But if you're going to put him out there against like a big deal dude, like we understand why he would lose. But I mean, they didn't even give a shit. Like they barely even tried with him. They actually, let me stop. They didn't even try with him. I'm not going to try to give them some sort of praise. They didn't even try with him.
Yeah, because I loved him when he was in NXT.
Oh, he was great.
You know, he was great in NXT. You know, he had such a freaking pop in NXT, and I think that's where he should have stayed. That was one name that didn't need to be brought up to the main roster.
Fully agreed.
And well, I have Mike and Maria Kanellis, which is Mike
wanted
Bennett
out.
And Mike wanted, but they both wanted out. But they seem to have both signed new contracts. Again, back to the contract signings. Mike and Maria Kanellis were also another one that actually signed a 4-year deal, I believe, about this time last year.
Yeah.
The one that was really, really hard, and I want to say it irked me.
Mm-hmm.
His wife had actually signed a contract, and we all know who Lana is, and we all know who her husband is, and that's Rusev.
I did not actually think they would release him.
I know, and I know when he said it on Twitter, everybody was just like, yeah, whatever, you said stuff like that before. But we thought, maybe he was just being funny because of all the other guys that were, pretty much leaving. So in this way, when he said it, and then I actually got by, what the hell's his name? Ross Sapp?
I fucking have no idea.
Ryan Rossap of Fightful.com. He actually tweeted it and said that
Ryan Satin. No, that's not Ryan Satin. Anyway,
no,
whatever.
And then Ryan Satin actually said it too. So did Meltzer, that said that they all confirmed it, that that Rusev had been released. And then of course we get the people from NXT Deonna Purrazzo, who had actually been debating on whether she wanted to stay or leave, and I believe she said that she had wanted to leave. Alexander Jaksic, MJ Jenkins, who I thought was going to be another star in NXT.
Oh yeah. Agreed, totally. I mean, she had a gimmick people got with. She was actually surprisingly good in the ring. She kind of every match she went out there, she legitimately gave it her all, and she never had a bad match.
No.
I mean, maybe in the cruiserweight class, or not the cruiserweight, the Mae Young, but I don't. I mean, even
Mae
in
Young.
that, I don't even think she did that bad.
Yeah, I don't think she did that bad. I thought she was good. Nick Ogilvy, Ogilvy.
Pardon your French.
Ogarelli.
That guy.
Yeah, Nick Ogarelli. My girl, fucking Tainara Conti. It's funny because Michael Larkin actually messaged me and he told me, he goes, "Hey, did you see it?" And I said, "What?" He goes, Tainara Conti got released. And I said, "Fuck you." And then he sent me a gif of her, and I was like, no way. And then he sent me the tweet that she had been released, and I was like, son of a bitch. I go, please, not her. But yeah. Dan Matha, Caesar Bononi.
Dan Matha. Caesar Bononi. Dang.
Yeah. Mars Wang.
Pardon me?
Tino Sabatelli.
Yes, Tito Sabatelli. Mandy Rose's real life boyfriend. Not Otis, which
bullshit. That's the guy. Yeah, that's the guy. And that's when his name popped up, I was like, I know that guy's name. Yeah, it is Mandy Rose's real life boyfriend.
That's right.
Mohammed Fahim, I have no idea who he is. Marcos Gomez, I have no idea who he is.
No say.
Fasal Curdy, I have no idea who he is. I'm pretty sure a lot of these guys. I think the one that actually stood out to me, and I think he's furloughed, was he changed his name to furloughed, is Cassius Ono.
Ah, yes, Cassius.
Josiah Williams.
Yep.
He's actually labeled as an on-air digital talent, which
WrestleFlow.
Make it easy. Yeah, and so Ace Steel is a coach. Kendo Cashin is a coach. Serena Deeb is a coach, and she was actually part of what the hell is his fucking name? Oh, CM Punk's Straight Edge.
Yes.
If you don't know who she is, that's who she was.
Yeah, she made a comeback in the Mae Young Classic and then was hired on as a coach.
Yeah. So anyways, the producers that were backstage, they got furloughed, and this list of names is like a who's who, because we all know every single one of them. The name on the top of that list was Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
And Aiden English, Lance Storm, Shane Helms, Sarah Stock, I know who she is, Scott Armstrong, former WWE referee, Billy Kidman, Dave Finlay, Pat Buck, Sean Daivari, Mike Rotunda. If you have no idea who Mike Rotunda is,
Bray Wyatt's daddy.
Bray Wyatt's daddy,
or otherwise
Erwin
known as IRS,
Shyster,
or VK Wall Street.
VK Wall Street.
For those who are watching the Retro Rewind.
Yeah. Andrea Linsenberg, she was actually Listenberg. She was actually the one that's writing the story for Otis and Mandy Rose.
Oh.
And Jerry Soto, who was actually a Spanish language announcer.
Nice. So, yeah, you had Finlay, Shane Helms. No, not Shane Helms. It's Finlay, Billy Kidman, excuse me.
No, Shane Helms, too.
No. But I mean, and then Mike Rotunda, they all came from, they've all been with the company since the invasion, is what I was getting at.
Lance, and it's weird because Lance Storm
was just recently hired.
The name. Yeah, he was just recently hired. I believe still this year, if I'm not mistaken.
He was hired. I want to say either September, October of last year. He had signed with
school.
Yeah, he had signed with Impact Wrestling. He was going to be a backstage producer. He had worked really well with Don Callis because they had a podcast together. Then they know each other. You guys, when minds mesh well, you want them to work each other, especially when it comes down to a wrestling show. Lance Storm being one of the more underrated dudes during the WCW run. You know what I mean? In my opinion, I really like Lance Storm, but he decided he had to close down his school when he joined WWE. When he did that, that's kind of like he figured like, oh, he's going to stay WWE. And I want to say, yeah, he was only with the company maybe at the most 6-7 months and was released. So,
well, I don't think he's released. I believe, like I said, a lot of these
are furloughed,
maybe brought back, maybe furloughed and maybe brought back, because this is just excuse me. It may be just a temporary thing for them to be gone. I want to say Aiden English may be gone.
I'm pretty sure
a lot of these backstage people. I think Kurt Angle has possibly saw his last days in WWE.
Which is fine.
I'm not saying anything is wrong with it, but I think between Lance Storm, Shane Helms, Scott Armstrong, Billy Kidman, Finlay, Daivari, and Mike Rotunda, I believe all those names may have been furloughed, and a lot of people have been speculating those people may be brought back at some point in time because of their relationship not only with Vince but with everybody backstage.
Yeah.
So the fact is that a lot of these people are just, some names are very shocking, and how they were notified was even more of a shock.
Yeah, most of these guys got a text message.
No, hold on. Some of them got a text message, and some of them actually got a recorded phone call.
Oh, I didn't hear about the recorded phone call. I knew
I
about the
heard,
text messages, which
yeah, I
still
heard a text
baffles the
message.
shit out of me.
I heard a text message. I heard Vince reached out to some of them, but I heard that
Was his
now.
message pre-recorded
Now
too?
I don't know. I don't know. He actually called them, and they said it was about a 5 minute phone call from Vince. Now I don't know how much of it is true. Primo and Epico actually, someone said who was friends with them or had some sort of relations to them, said that Primo and Epico both got a voice recorded message, and it was just telling them that they had been released. Now, I don't know how much of that is true, but that's what it said. Or that's what this person supposedly said that
I mean, all we can do
they
is
had gotten.
listen and speculate. And I'm thinking the worst of this company right now. So that's the least I believe they were going to do. Is just fucking shit all over you guys by shooting you a text message or a crap phone call from the guy that didn't give a shit anyway.
Yeah,
it's just heartbreaking.
It's heartbreaking for all these people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter where you want to go with this. I mean, it's just heartbreaking altogether.
It's heartbreaking because the fact of the matter is all these guys fucking lost their job for these guys to make legitimately no money off of it. They ended up fucking stopping the construction of their new building, and that's where all this goddamn money came from. And so that's what they did. They took all that and then they fucking released the dog shit out of the fucking people because they just wanted to do it just to be a fucking prick fucker, is my guess, or whatever the fuck. You know, in a pandemic, oh, fuck you, and fuck you. You know, we don't give a shit about your future, your uncertainty. We don't give a shit. And then they canceled the building, and then it is like 2,000 times the money. 20,000. You can't even fathom the amount of money the difference is between this $4.5 million and 230 some odd million that they fucking saved doing this building. And all of it was so they can hit the $1 billion mark in the fucking revenues. Revenues. Not. Oh, God, I just. Like, you know what, dude? Maybe when I was like a kid, my innocence, like, I wouldn't give a shit. Whatever. If you learn to deal with I'm too old to not, like, be this. Like, this is just bullshit. This is, like, the shadiest company like, around right now. I mean, I don't know who's worse. This fucking dude who wants to fire you for the sake of just firing you so I can be in the fucking green come, fucking quarterly time. Or is it Mr. Fight Island over here trying to play Mortal Kombat? And fucking Dana White, I'm going to open up an island and fuck you. And like, what the hell is going on? And then, of course, you got to bring in our lovely fucking president who thinks it's smart to bring these fucking guys in as people who should think, when should we open up the country? As Vince is running shows while people are getting sick. I'm done. We need to.
I know you had, if you guys go back, follow fucking Moses Marquez. You could find him. You can find the SMR podcast on Facebook, and then you can see his rant.
Yeah, I wait for like 30 minutes.
Moses. It was very interesting, Moses, and I have to say I applaud you.
It's like, dude,
I'm going to give you your praise now.
The long and short about that, I was just like, we've been getting the same thing for I don't even remember how long. And then, like, I brought the very simplest fact that nobody wants to fucking talk about. And it's the fact that the last time the ratings were up is because there was a star on the screen. That star was CM Punk. And what did they do? They fed him to The Rock. So The Rock can display a new belt. And then what did they do? They were going to have him lose or they were going to have him not main event WrestleMania, which he surely fucking deserved. And they were going to have him beat Triple H in what was one of the 3 main events of the evening. It was scheduled to be the third match. Fucking rumor had it was going to be like the third match into the fucking show. Ugh. And then you wonder why he took his ball and went home. Like, people still wonder to this day why this guy just said, fuck you, I'm taking my ball and going home. Look at how he was treated. And he was the reason for the ratings. Yes, John sold the balls out of merchandise because kids like colors. But do kids tune in every week? Or is it the mom and dad or the big brother who's watching it who has to watch Punk? Like, nobody thought about that shit. They always thought about who brought in the money. Anyway, let's go. Let's keep going. Sorry.
Okay, so anyways, Mike Bennett actually commented on it, and he was on a video chat with Wrestle Talk News, and he said wrestlers were given a heads up before a call was made. Heads up was a video that was sent by Vince McMahon saying that people would be getting laid off. Bennett said that he and his wife knew that they would be let go. It's us. It's going to happen. And it happened. He said he got a call from Mark Carrano about an hour later. Yeah, Mark Carrano, and said that both him and his wife were let go. Bennett said about McMahon, you hear these terrible stories about Vince, but like, he's always good to me. He really is. It just didn't click. So I think getting the point of view from people about, everything. I understand. I completely get it. It's a business decision. And I understand if your company is struggling and you're trying to stay afloat, I understand layoffs.
Yeah,
I completely do. Hold on. I'm going to rant.
Okay, well,
I understand layoffs. Believe me, I do. I've been laid off before. I've been let go from a company because they weren't making enough money. So they needed to find ways to make money. So they let people go. So to stay afloat, that's their money saver. Now, in this instance, what Vince McMahon is doing is he's letting people go to fill a quota, because he's trying to stay above water. He's trying to stay not above water. He's trying to stay high above water. I mean, literally is like water's like way down there, and like he's way up here in this penthouse. So he's trying not to leave this penthouse. Not that he's going to, because it's $1 billion fucking company. But he just seems to believe that what's expendable is the people who are here and the shareholders who he has to basically rub balls with.
Whoa.
So, yes, and I fucking said it. I don't give a shit.
That's whoa.
Who he's trying to fucking rub their balls so they continue to keep fucking filtering money into his company. He's rubbing their fucking asses to trying to make them fucking happy, trying to make everybody, all of his shareholders, the people who are invested into his company, rich, and trying to keep them continually making money.
Yep.
So if you let go of some people, it's easier for them to continue to stay in that upper, what as we call 1%.
Fucking 1%.
It's sad. It's sad to see all these individuals who basically put their heart and soul. I mean, a lot of them were not being used properly, which again, we can go back to blaming Vince, because Vince doesn't use anybody properly anymore. No, he's too fucking locked in. He's too locked into his own fucking ego to realize that he's fucking up his own company. That the reason why they're fucking losing money and why he has to do shit like this is because he's not doing shit right. I think the one thing that got me, and this, we go back to CM Punk, and you said it best. CM Punk actually had that one promo to where he said, "So what? If Vince McMahon dies, then what? You get to still get his idiotic daughter and his doofus son-in-law."
And then bam,
Problem
they cut
is
his
that
fucking
doofus
mic.
his problem is that doofus son-in-law is a little bit more intelligent than what people give him credit for, because he's more a wrestler.
Yes.
In this aspect.
He knows the product well.
And he knows the product well. And you see he's done with NXT. That's not Vince. That was fucking Paul.
Yeah.
Paul Levesque. Triple H. That's his baby. And guess what he's done with it? He's made it fucking more entertaining than Vince has over the last few years with his main roster, who has a lot of the people who Triple H has made down there. So now we're looking at this company and it's like, fuck, but what is going to happen? I'm with CM Punk. I believe if it goes to fucking Stephanie, it's going to be a fucked up fucking company.
Agreed.
But I think if Triple H is running it.
Now that's the thing, though. How much of that power do you really think he's going to have if it gets down to something like that? We are talking about McMahon's here.
I understand that. And I think the difference is, I think we give Stephanie and Shane a lot of grief because, they aren't really wrestlers. Yes, they are business savvy because, of course, Shane left WWE, created his own company, and then, of course, built it up to what it is. So he's continued. He didn't need WWE's money, but he didn't do like Trump did, who fucking fucked off his own fucking parents. To say, oh, well, you know what? I'm going to take this money and I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
She went out and built his own he had his own money coming in, so he didn't need the revenue from WWE, although he was still getting it because he is still part of the company, even though he left. Anyways, I'm gonna ramble about that, and that's a whole nother fucking story and a whole nother subject for another fucking day.
Agreed. I mean, for fact's sake, we can go for hours, and the fact of the matter is we're about 40 minutes in, and we've covered a whopping 2 topics. So, sorry
about that, people.
No,
if you're
let's
on
not.
The same
no,
subject.
I am not fucking sorry about that. That is shit that needs to be heard. God damn it! Everybody fucking take some note and give us a standing
WWE. Oh, by the way, the other thing I was going to mention, since I mentioned all the people that were being laid off, WWE's expansion into NXT Japan is actually dead in the water for a while.
I would see why.
I could see why.
So anyway, very quickly, let's talk about the ratings. We got to go into Raw, SmackDown ratings very fast. Here, the bad news for this coming week, or this past week of Raw, is they did not hit 2 million viewers. 1.91 is the new lowest in modern history. So that's absolutely terrible. I believe like just the week before they had just did like 1.92. So they ended up falling from the week prior at an even worse rating. And then we get some SmackDown drawing their lowest ratings while on Fox. But guess what? They were still over 2 million. They got 2.192. Not too dang bad. But they were down 4.9% from last week. So it could have been better. Show's still averaging about 2.3 or about 2.2 million viewers a week. We'll see how much that lasts in this pandemic, though. So, I mean, the big deal for these ratings, the fact of the matter is yes, people may be at home, but they're not watching as much wrestling as they want. The fact of the matter is actually more people are watching the news. A lot more younger people are watching the news more than ever. So, that's that for the ratings. Very quickly, we did get... This looks like a good match. Granted, I didn't see it, but Humberto Carrillo took on Shelton Benjamin on main event. Something may be worthy of going to check out. And then Santana Garrett, in a losing effort, makes her debut, I guess, on the main roster for WWE main event as she took on Liv Morgan, who is just on a tear as of late. So, Money in the Bank. Let's get into Money in the Bank. Let's talk about Money in the Bank. I had mentioned this new building they decided they wanted to pump the brakes on because, we need the money, boss. There's a pandemic going about. So they decided to put this building on hold, but I guess in the process, they're like, fuck this building, let's destroy it. I don't know what the plan is. I don't know if they're going to have, I don't even know. Somebody had told me the idea of this Money in the Bank pay-per-view is these guys are going to fight through Titan Towers and make it to the top. You can't just take the elevator up. And I'm like, well, that's fucking...
No elevator. It's stairs.
He's like, check it out, motherfuckers, 38 stories. Handle it. Like, what the fuck? 66 stories. I don't even know how big the building is. The motherfucker's probably huge. All I know is you better be in the best fucking conditioning you've ever fucking been in, bro. To get up all them ladders. Like, what if, one of them is just, the bathroom floor? Who am I going to fight in the bathroom? Kevin Sullivan? Is he going to come out of nowhere? I'm going to fight Kevin Sullivan in the bathroom? I mean, I'm loving the idea. I saw the pictures of the ring on top of Titan Towers. It looks interesting. I'm intrigued. But at the same time, what all are you guys going to really be able to do? You know what I mean? So, we'll see. Maybe they'll be fucking up somebody's desk or something. Somebody's in the middle of making a sale. I don't know. They're selling merch. And then wham, right through a table. I don't know.
I don't know. I can tell you what's going to make me laugh, though, is that somebody threw up the gif of Shane McMahon falling from the building. And I started laughing, and I said, what the hell is he going to land on, a bush?
Maybe.
I go, I hope there's bushes around there. If not, he's going to hit a tree. Watch out for that tree.
Big time. So as of right now, we got 4 matches set up for said Money in the Bank. Of course, we get the men's and the women's ladder match. I'll go to those in just a second. But we do get the Universal Championship is being defended. Braun Strowman against Bray Wyatt. And then we're going to get Bayley against Tamina, of all fucking people, which had just happened on Friday. But for the women's Money in the Bank, as of right now, we have, what's that, four qualifiers. Shayna Baszler, Asuka, Nia Jax, and Dana Brooke have all qualified so far. And Daniel Bryan is the sole qualifier as of right now for the men's Money in the Bank.
Yeah, by the way, if you go to Wrestle Daily on Twitter, they actually have pictures of the top of the roof of WWE headquarters where they're building a ring up on top. They actually have scaffolding up there that is putting everything together, which I'm pretty sure is probably that scaffolding is probably gonna hold all the lights in place. This is going to be an interesting, very, very, very interesting Money in the Bank, to say the least.
Oh, yeah. That's for fucking sure, bro. That's for fucking sure. So, we got to talk about the Revival being released. They were one of the first teams that we all heard about them being released. They were granted their immediate release, and everybody's like, oh, AEW, AEW, AEW. But nobody really remembered when Vince wanted to make them like a comedy tag team, and somehow these photos got leaked, and Jesus Christ, did he ever want to make them a comedy tag team? I couldn't tell if these guys were trying to be like pirates, if they were trying to be like, I don't fucking know what. I don't know why they have goddamn glow sticks in their hands. He's got this fucking... Oh my God, Wilder's got this fucking this goddamn thing on his neck. It looks like Flavor Flav, but he's like the white guy, so it's you can't say Flava Flav. It's Flavor for fucking this guy, because he's just. But it says Shatter Machine on it, and I'm like, that's not even a machine. What in the fuck is going on? What? And they got bow ties on all 3 of these pictures. These fucking colors are outlandish. They're fucking like blue and green and white, or of course red and yellow, because, you know, fucking Vince loves him some goddamn red and yellow. Yeah, I'm a hot dog and mustard guy, pal. Like, yeah, obviously, motherfucker. Jesus Christ. Like, oh. I just can't even fathom I can't even imagine their response being like, hey, bro, this is the idea we had. Like, I don't know if I want to laugh, cry, puke, kick somebody in the nuts, or all the above. But, like, these are just fucking horrific. Just horrific.
Yeah.
I had to say something that was just the worst. What do you think about these fucking whatever the fuck these things are?
I have no words right now. I honestly don't. None.
Oh, I love it.
You're lucky you're getting what you're getting. You're getting what you're getting out of me right now.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure. So then with that being said, let's continue onward. I got to talk about this because, to be honest with you, it made me laugh. And every now and again, I love me some Jim Cornette just being Jim Cornette. Okay? Not him and hating Vince Russo and I'm going to fucking strangle you to your eyes gouge while I'm watching, you know, Dark Side of the Ring. Not that shit. This is the shit I'm talking about. So Jim Cornette's on his podcast, right? And the whole thing had come up about Ronda, you know, talking about, you know, the 300 fights a year and all that shit. And so he pretty much, this is like quote for quote. He said, you know, and this is, I'm going to read it quote for quote. He says, you know, you didn't do this, you know, this WrestleMania match by yourself. Triple H laid the fucking match out specifically how because he wanted you to get over. Kurt Angle was your partner. So of course he gave you, you know, the fucking steps to get there. And then he goes, and Ronda performed her part admirably. And she did have a good persona. I love the game phase. I dig her deal, treating the business seriously when she did, you know, when she did it in the fucking ring. But apparently now I should have known something was wrong when she was the one that had a nervous breakdown after losing two fucking MMA fights, broke down crying, basically quitting the business there because she lost twice. Yeah, so she's a mental case. But now we find out, oh, it's so hard. It's just so hard. I was on the road 200 days a year making 7 figures. I don't know what her contract was, what they were paying her for the fucking year, but it's been reported about $1.5 million someplace. And I know WWE, but if you know WWE and you think Ronda Rousey isn't making over $1 million, you're fucking insane. And 200 days a year, my asshole fucking bleeds for you, darling. That's when I first started to just crack up. He said, you've insulted every person in the wrestling business that was not given a 6-figure contract by the WWF. He says, and their fucking efforts are diminished for that. He says, you whine and gripe, you pussy needs powdering. You were on the road 200 days a year. You have no respect. You've gained no respect for this business. When you've come in, you've done with it. Obviously, calling it fake fights, playing with your friends. He said you were enjoying yourself for a couple of $1 million or whatever. So Vince flew you all over the place and just fucking pampered you. He goes on to just rip her a fucking new one. He tells her plain and simple, he's like, so you're disrespecting all the guys that worked for fucking Bill Watts, worked 250 days a year, probably worked about 250 straight nights kind of shit, getting paid $20,000, like $25,000 a year at the best, and you're out here making 7 figures. Like, I'm with Cornette, dude. Like, get rid of your fucking get rid of your MMA career. Get rid of the UFC career you had. Granted, I'm not going to diminish you for it. That's not what I'm getting at. But I'm saying you don't come in with that hype, you ain't getting what these guys are getting. You'd have been in NXT, maybe making $65,000 a year. Working 200 days a year. Then you have something to complain about. Maybe. But as he blatantly put it, guys like fucking Dick Murdoch would make probably about $40,000 a year in the 80s. You know, while he was alive in the mid-80s. You know, maybe like early 80s, I should say. You know what I mean? Guys like him out there busting their hump so many days a year, constantly working. Probably maybe getting 1 day off a week, if that. Just
wow, you sound like you on a rant.
No, I don't really want. I mean, I'm upset with the Ronda thing because, like, you can't compare wrestling and MMA. I don't give a fuck what it is you want to compare it to. You can't compare it. The fact of the matter is in MMA, you're going to have a 6-week fight camp, 6 to 8 week fight camp, where every single fucking day your life is revolved around training. Every single fucking day of your life for that 6 to 10 weeks, you're in fucking training camp preparing for a big ass fight. And then that payoff is that fight. And then being the star you are, you would make probably a fucking percentage, a fight of the night bonus, probably a percentage of the gate. God only knows the amount of money she would have made in the MMA. Now, granted, they still pay they don't pay these guys anything. They go out there and they legitimately beat the shit out of each other. I understand that. 300 fights a year, you'd be dead. That's fantastic. But like I said on my fucking rant, when have you ever fought over 15 times in a year? Never. Have you ever fought over 20 times in a year? No. Have you had over 100 judo competitions in a year? Probably not. So again, when you do a job that's this hard, knowing that it's this hard because you've taken the bumps, you've gotten hurt in that squared circle, in that 20 by 20, you take that and you diminish the shit out of it because I'm Ronda Rousey. And if you weren't, then what? Like, that's the thing that kills me. If you weren't, then what? Was Ric Flair when he started? No. He wanted to be Dustin Rhodes. He wanted to be Dusty Rhodes. And then he became his own person. Did Roddy Piper, the guy you fucking idolize yourself by, you dumb idiot, did he fucking come into this thing thinking I'm the fucking business? No. He fucking proved his worth. He fucking did shows with nobody in them, busted his hump, and he'd let his fucking talking do the work for him, and that's what made him a fucking star. But also years on the fucking grind, making nothing, going from driving, not flying, fucking driving from city to city, working a circuit. Like, broad, you've made so much money in this fucking business, and you don't have a respect for none of it. And I'm surprised no, like, real veteran has gone up to her and tell her some shit about that. Like, you need to show some fucking real fucking respect. Like, I get, like, the fucking Nia saying, oh, I'll knock your teeth out, whatever. I don't give a fuck about that. I want to hear one of these old school wrestlers. You need to shut the hell up. You need to understand what's going on. You know what I mean? You want to fucking run your mouth and this and that. Understand where this started, understand who you are, and understand the differences. And then maybe you want to run your mouth after you've maybe properly learned your fucking history. Stay home. Stay the fuck home. I've said enough. Stay the fuck home. Don't come back for Mania. Don't come back for Raw. Don't come back for nothing. Stay your ass the fuck at home. You're done in this business. You know what? You want to come back to this business? Go fight MMA first. Go win an MMA fight and not fucking cry when you get knocked out.
Yeah, go over there again and wait for fucking Amanda Nunes to fucking whoop your ass again.
Just dude, I didn't see Cyborg crying when she got knocked out. I didn't see Holly Holmes fucking cry when she got knocked out. None of these ladies turn around and quit the business just because you weren't the fucking best didn't mean you need to fucking turn around and be done with it. I seen a fucking plethora of women fans absolutely adore Ronda Rousey in the peak of her MMA career. Completely stop and say, this is what you're going to do when you lose? You're going to fucking go on this mental breakdown and threaten to kill yourself because you lost? People lose. Like, it is what it is. Get the fuck over it. You know, you're like that angry kid with a controller. You're just hucked it at your TV. I lost. I don't lose. Like, people lose, bro. It's not that big a deal. Look at Randy Couture. Motherfucker lost left and right. He's still one of the best ever because he didn't give a shit if he lost. George St. Pierre, I can't stand the fucking guy. But I didn't see him quitting and bitching and crying when he lost. When fucking Matt Serra knocked his ass out. Role model. Stay at home. Fucking dumbass. Anyway, let's get into AEW talk. Dustin Rhodes, I think he did this via social media. played a little clip. He's on the road to the TNT Championship. I forget who he has his match against. Kip Sabian. Kip Sabian. He says if he does not win this match and advance into the tournament, he will retire. So I'm like, what the what? Completely fucking out of left field for me. Of all the guys I would think would all of a sudden up and retire would be Dustin Rhodes. What are you getting out of this? You think this is just his way of like playing it up, knowing, oh, I'm going to win?
I don't want to say that. I mean, I want to know that he's at least. I wouldn't mind if he gets to the championship, but I think that would be something that would be interesting for me to see is him actually win it. I know he didn't get his hands on the world title, but I don't think it's a demotion for him, and I don't think it's a demotion for anybody. I want to go back to something we both have said about WCW back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
When Ric Flair became the United States champion, it wasn't a demotion for him because he was still Ric Flair.
Exactly.
When Dusty Rhodes won the United States title, it wasn't a demotion because he was still Dusty Rhodes. Diamond Dallas Page, Sting, it was never a demotion. Lex Luger, never a demotion because they were still the top guys. Even though it was a mid-card title, it was still to them the most cherished title that they have in their company. So I would like to see it around his waist to where, everybody is just like, oh, dang, he's carrying it like it's the world title. Maybe it does have some prestige on it. That's what you want for any mid-card title. It has to be the next step to come upward in any company. It's not just a mid-card level company. It's not just like a mid-card, okay, that's about as far as you're going to go.
Yeah.
You want it to be that next step up. So even if Cody was going to hold it, yeah, I still think it's going to give it some credibility.
I mean, like I said, my idea was he was either going to be Cody or Sammy would be the first guy to win it and be the perfect guy to win it. But now that I think about it, has Dustin had a bad match yet on AEW? And my answer is going to be no. I wouldn't mind him winning this thing. Though the thing with that is I think they're leading up to Lance Archer against fucking Lance Archer and Cody, Jesus Christ. But I'm not too, I think that's where it's going to head. You know what I mean? I think that's where it's going to come to a head. So, because it's going to be Dustin. Dustin will beat his big, unfortunately Dustin will lose to Lance Archer. Oh, I beat your big brother. And then, yeah. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. So the last little bit of news we have here for today is for those who are still hoping for a little double or nothing. Guess what? It's still going to happen. It was announced on AEW social media that the show will still be held May the 23rd on pay-per-view, but it will not be in Las Vegas. So it's still they're just going to air it. I don't know what all has been planned for it. As far as I know, there's just going to be the finals of the TNT Championship Tournament and probably like a world title match, a tag team title match. Who knows? Let's see what all they have to build to. We have not seen Hangman in a while, so God only knows what's going on with the tag team championships. I know I know Moxley just defended his world title not too long ago. Actually, just this past Wednesday, so yeah. God only really knows what's going on. But
yes.
But that's it. That's all we got. We have so much of it.
No. One more.
Nope. Wait a minute. One more. Go ahead. Oh, that's right. New Japan and all of Japan, even.
Yes, and all of Japan, and of course, all the promotions over in Japan all got together with state and government officials over, I think last weekend or this past week it was. And they all got together to where everybody is going to continue to do their part in the midst of COVID-19 pandemic. And New Japan, along with the other various promotions over there, are going to continue to keep paying all of their employees. They aren't getting rid of anybody. They are going to continue to keep paying them. The government is going to help them along this way during this time. And at some point in time later this year, they will go back to doing shows, but they will be done without fans. Still, taking into consideration all that is going on, this is a good thing for the company, and we shall see where they go, what happens with them going forward.
Yep, that we shall. But I mean, good for them. It's definitely like an excellent sign from these guys that came together and were like, we're still going to pay you. Now, I know a handful of these promotions out in Japan are still actually running like shows, no people, no audience shows. I was going to try to say because it makes me sound smart, but I'm not all that smart. Anyway, so I mean, it's just it's good. You know, Harold Mang is just legit making things better for the world of professional wrestling, showing a softer heart, you know, knowing that there's a pandemic going on, but knowing that these guys are still trying to provide a source of entertainment, so the least they could do is provide them a source of income. However, New Japan's not running at all at the moment, so. But they're still being paid. Good for them, though.
Yes, but they're still getting paid. They're still paying their top talent. Okada. Let me see. Okada showed up. It was Okada, Naito, Tanahashi, and some other from a lot of the other companies that were over there. They all showed up in to represent their companies and represent the wrestlers in these companies. And of course, Japan is one of the hotbeds for really good wrestling. So they're doing their best to keep everybody in line over there, and of course, continue to keep paying their company, keep paying their wrestlers. And of course, Vince McMahon should take note in doing that themselves. But I can go on another rant about that too.
I'm sure we could.
Another story left for another day, and of course, I am done.
As we are with the news, that's everything that we have. So you're not fully done. Hit him with some plugs so we can get out of here.
And of course, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter under the same name, RWT_Deadman. If you have anything interesting that you would like for me to share, send it through my DMs. I promise you I will share it on my stories and possibly on my page. And of course, if you find anything interesting on Twitter, of course, you can tag me in it. And I promise you I will retweet it, like it, and retweet it, and tag some other friends you may have not tagged. And of course, Mr. Marquez, you may take us home saw.
Gracias, amigo. That's right. Make sure you're following us on all platforms of social media: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, SMR Podnet, everywhere you can look. Make sure you're trying to join the RWT group on the Facebook page, because that is an awesome place to do. All you got to do is facebook.com, or actually search RWT Raw Wrestle Talk on the Facebook, and then you'll find it there. Make sure you're checking out all the fun stuff on the link tree, linktr.ee/SmartMarkRadio. We'll get you hooks up with all of our links, social media, YouTube, you name it, even the links to the shows where you can find them, such as Spotify, Apple Podcasts, was it Google Play, Stitcher, God only fucking knows where else. iHeartRadio, for goddamn sake, if you haven't checked us out on iHeartRadio yet, we're on there as well. SoundCloud.com/SmartMarkRadio and Anchor.fm/SMR Podnet are the other two easiest places to find all of your favorite SMR Podcast Network episodes. So, with that being said, we're going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. For Paul, so he doesn't know, this whole thing was live on Facebook the entire time, because that's how we're going to do the news from now on, so I can get you mofos to interact. It's still going to drop immediately afterwards. We're done live here. So when you listen to it and you realize, crap, I could have been a part of some awesomeness, yes. And next Sunday you can, because we do the news every Sunday. So with all that being said, we are going to get out of here. Catch y'all's round the bend. Peace out.
Fuck y'all on Facebook. I'm out.
That's me. SMR Podcast Network. You should be listening.